Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new, down below, subscribe. If you've been here before, welcome back. Okay, this time I got 4 cases for you there, guys. 4 pretty young ladies that have been killed. Let's get into it. 15-year-old Kelly Cook was abducted and murdered in 1981. Her killer has never been found. At 8:20 a.m. on April 22nd, 1981, 15-year-old Kelly Jane Evelyn Cook received a call from a man identified himself as Bill Christensen. Kelly would babysit a couple times a week for different families in the small village of Standard, Alberta, Canada, and Bill offered her a job for that night. Though she was suspicious of the man, Christensen was a common surname in the area, and he knew her neighbors' names. Kelly's mother agreed and said she'd accept his offer. By 8:30 p.m., a full-size cream-colored North American car pulled up to Kelly's house and honked. Her mother watched as she got into the front passenger seat and the car drove away. Every time Kelly babysat, she would call her family when she arrived at the person's house. By midnight, she hadn't called nor returned home, so her mother called the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Every house in the village was searched, including abandoned buildings, but no evidence was found. Authorities contacted every Christensen family in town, but none of them had heard of a Bill Christensen. The phone call between Kelly and the so-called Bill that morning was traced to a local gas station. Interestingly, one of Kelly's friends came forward to tell police she had also received a call from a Bill Christensen. On April 18th, he asked her to babysit, but she was busy and gave him Kelly's number. This phone call was traced to a Standard hotel bar. The staff remembered overhearing a man talking to a babysitter over the phone because he had been rude to them when he asked to use the phone. According to rumors, the man called the local school just a month before Kelly's disappearance. He wanted information on a female student that belonged to the figure skating club and had appeared in the local newspaper. It is unclear if the principal gave out the girl's contact information, but it is said that the girl who spoke to Bill on April 18th was the figure skater in the newspaper and likely Bill's original target. Authorities also discovered that at 10 p.m. on the night of Kelly's disappearance, an operator received a call from a payphone in Hoosier, about a 20-minute drive from Standard. The operator briefly heard a woman screaming and the call was cut off. Authorities believe it may have been Kelly screaming. On June 28, 1981, Kelly's body was found in Chin Lake Reservoir near Tabor, Alberta. A couple of teenagers ride motorcycles. This lake's located about 2 hours or 2.5 hours from Standard. Kelly's body had been identified through dental records as it was severely deteriorated. Reports differ on whether the cause of death was identified or not. Some claim she was asphyxiated or strangled, while others state it was impossible to determine due to the decomposition. Nevertheless, Kelly was fully clothed and had not been sexually abused, which is good. Finally, there's one. She had been bound with rope and weighed down with cinder blocks. Her body had only become visible due to the drought that drastically lowered the lake's water levels. Chin Lake was dragged and searched by divers, and no more evidence was found. While Kelly's body was at the funeral home in Calgary, a man demanded to see her body. Even though he claimed to be a friend to the family, he was denied and eventually left. This man has never been identified by authorities. But authorities believe it may have been the killer. A few months later, young girls in Canmore, Alberta reported excuse me guys, receiving suspicious calls from a man seeking a babysitter. They could not remember his name, but the man said that he would pick them up at their house. When they turned down his offer, he always asked for another babysitter's number. These calls were traced back to a local payphone and were likely from Bill Christensen. Tara Jane White from Morley, Alberta. Banff residents Tara Jane White was reported missing on July 3, 1976. At the time of her disappearance, 19-year-old Tara White had just completed her first year of studies at the University of Calgary in the science faculty. Tara worked for the summer as a dining room waitress at a lodge 40 miles north of Lake Louise, Alberta. She was last seen on July 1st, 1976, leaving a residence in the northwest community of Dalhousie within the city of Calgary. She was carrying an orange backpack at the time of her disappearance. Tara was intending to catch a bus to Lake Louise. On March 24th, 1981, Tara White's skeletal remains were found in a shallow grave approximately 40 kilometers west of Calgary in a wooded area off Highway Number 1 near Morley, Alberta. Excuse me. An orange backpack was also found in the shallow grave. Police believe Tara White either accepted a ride to Banff, Lake Louise, at the bus depot, or she was picked up hitchhiking. Elaine Crozier, Cochrane, Alberta. On Saturday, July 19, 1986, the body of a 26-year-old Elaine Crozier was found lying on the southeast bank of Jumping Pond Creek near Cochrane, Alberta. And 3.6 kilometers south of Highway Number 1 at a location where the creek crosses Highway 68. Sorry about that, guys. Miss Crusher was an unknown sex trade worker, and she was last seen alive on July 19th, 1986 at 1:30 a.m. Eileen Crusher was observed by a fellow prostitute getting into a brown vehicle on 1st Avenue and 2nd Street, Southwest Calgary, Alberta, which was found frequented by Johns and sex trade workers. A witness described a similar vehicle where the driver had approached the victim an hour earlier. The driver was described as being a white Caucasian male, 30 to 40 years old, 190 to 220 pounds, fat and dirty, full beard and mustache, wearing glasses, possibly black or dirty brown collar-length hair, wearing a checkered shirt, blue and white sports team jacket with a name on the sleeve. Pauline Elizabeth Brazeau, Cochrane, Alberta. Pauline Elizabeth Brazeau was a 16-year-old single parent of a 9-month-old daughter when she was found murdered west of Calgary on January 9th, 1976. She moved to Calgary from Yorkton, Saskatchewan in December 1975. On the evening of 1976, January the 8th, Pauline Elizabeth Brazeau was socializing with friends at her aunt's residence at 7th Avenue, Southwest Calgary, Alberta. Pauline has consumed a considerable amount of alcohol during the evening. She and a friend visited a nearby pizza restaurant at around 2:30 a.m. On 1976, January the 9th, at the restaurant, they ate a pizza and departed the restaurant to go home. Pauline returned alone to the restaurant about 15 minutes later to retrieve a pair of gloves that she may have left behind. Pauline could not find her gloves and left the restaurant shortly thereafter. The partially clothed body of Pauline Brazeau was found approximately 5 hours later at 8:30 a.m. on the 9th of January 1976 on the Jumping Pond Forest Road, located approximately 22 miles southwest of Cochrane, Alberta. Pauline died as a result of stab wounds. Okay guys, there's your 4, like I promised you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Down below, subscribe, hit the bell, hit all. Alright? That way you get notified when I put up another video. I've been feeling good. I've been hurting quite a bit lately. I haven't been able to put any videos up, so now I am. I'm back. If you know anything about any cold cases you watch, contact your local police. Give them the name. They'll find out who. Let them know where as well, so they can contact that district. If you don't want to give your name, you want to stay anonymous, that's fine. Crime Stoppers, give them a call. Alright? I'm out of here. Later, guys.